Good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon on the Eastern Coast. My name is Edward Schaefer. I am president of the Collegium. I'm going to give you a short presentation. After that, there is another presentation. I believe it's the University of St. Thomas at Houston. You're welcome to transition over to that one if you want. But also I'll hang out here. So if you have questions or you want to chat, I'll make myself available at the end of those 10 minutes. I'm going to give you a little presentation. If you'll let me share my screen, it'll be far more kind to your eyes than me. There we go. Hold on. There we go. And here we are. So we are the Collegium. We are in Hagerstown, Maryland. For those of you that are not familiar with the location, if you start to head out to the west of Maryland and go into the long, skinny neck, we are in the skinniest part of that state. We're about 10 miles south of Pennsylvania and 10 miles north of West Virginia. We are in the foothills of the Appalachians, some of the most beautiful countryside in the United States. And at the same time, we're convenient to 3 airports: Baltimore, Washington, Reagan, and Dulles. So we're easy to get to. We're maybe an hour and 15 minutes from those airports. And we're in a small town of 40,000 people in just a very beautiful area. This is our mission. We educate and form students through the traditions of the church to restore all things in Christ. And I'll walk you through a little bit of that. This is how we fulfill the mission. The first thing is, we are the trad college. We embrace the traditions of the church. That includes a traditional mass, a divine office. But it's more than just a series of courses that embrace traditional Catholic education or the masses itself. It's really a part of our whole environment. It's prayer. We sing lauds and vespers every day. We sing the Angelus and grace before and after meals. So it's prayers integrated into our daily routine. Our meals are taken as a community. Work is required of every student, 8 hours a week at least. That's partially for the spiritual benefits and partially to help offset the costs. We are probably we are the lowest private institution in the country. Our cost this year is $19,300, and that includes tuition, room, board, books, and almost all the fees. There might be there's a utility fee, and there is your internet fee that you'll take care of yourself if you have those. Confession, adoration, spiritual direction are all available from the parish pastor, which is 2 blocks away from us. And there's also an adoration chapel. So that's kind of the heart of who we are. We have a sense of Benedictine spirituality underneath everything that we do. And so kind of the qualities of the program have to do with liturgy. I've mentioned that, the virtues of obedience and humility, personal conversion, hospitality and community. We really insist that people that want to come to study with us come and visit first. It's a better way to guarantee success, and you'll experience our hospitality and community when you come. The dignity of work and simplicity of life and stewardship. Our curriculum is unlike any other college curriculum. It's based on a centuries-old model of liberal education and an overarching study of the human experience, including humanity's history, the physical world in which we live, and the natural laws of reality that bind us. And the paradigm of Aristotelian realism permeates and integrates the entirety of our curriculum. It reaches even into our math and science courses, uniting them to the study of philosophy and theology, unlike any other institution, and leading students to see how our knowledge is united in the knowledge of the love of God. We teach a curriculum that is as much a process as it is a list of courses. So they start with the process of learning grammar, logic, rhetoric, and then they apply those processes to the natural and physical sciences, those things that we can see, hear, and touch. And then finally, they apply those processes to philosophy and theology, those things that we cannot see and touch, but that are just as real. We embrace the traditional Catholic faith, the unchanging teachings and practices that have both shaped the faith of all the saints that we venerate and shone as a beacon of light, light of truth to the world lost in darkness. We teach theology based on the writings of St. Thomas Aquinas. We teach mathematics as incorporated within our inquiry into creation as the science of quantifiable being. That is, math and science are about reality, not just abstract constructs. You just look in the science of the field of medicine, you can see what happens when we lose the sense of reality connected to the study of math and science. I think I mentioned we teach mathematics is incorporated within our inquiry into creation as the science of quantifiable being. This roots mathematics in the real world and provides a sure foundation for its applications. And we teach the natural sciences with the Aristotelian Thomistic framework of inquiring into the causes and principles of the created world. No one approaches a curriculum in the same way that we do. We have a unique student work program. Liberal arts students acquire a whole range of skills that are applicable to most fields of employment. For example, the ability to think clearly and logically, to express yourself concisely, to problem solve, the ability and the desire to learn. These are all part and parcel of a liberal arts program. For 13 years, I was at the University of Florida, and every year there was a career fair in which 1,500 employers came onto campus, and 1,300 of them did not care what your major was. We've sort of been, what would I say, kind of hoodwinked into thinking that, you know, majors are absolutely critical for success in the business world, and it's just absolutely not true. We're kind of the opposite paradigm in many ways of school, but so many schools will have a large number of majors and then a small core, which is supposed to help form you as a person, and it certainly never happens. We're just the opposite. We're a huge, complete core, and then students experience different fields in our work program. And we can talk about that more if you want to stick around. I want to stick to my 10-minute limit. We are a close-knit community. Our Collegium students, we live together, we study together, we work, eat, and play together. So we're a small, tight-knit community in which our students forge friendships that will last throughout their lives. And finally, I want to just make a statement about our mission. We say to restore all things in Christ. Originally, we toyed with the idea of talking about, you know, transformation in the mission statement. And the more we talked about it, we said, you know, but transformation is a wide open word. What transform to what? What are we talking about? And we ultimately agreed, and we sort of stole Pius X's phrase, to restore all things in Christ. That is really the heart of our mission. We start with trying to restore ourselves to Christ, and then those with whom we have contact in the world, whether it's the work world or our families. Our primary mission is to help people get to heaven. And if we can't do that, then it doesn't matter what kind of jobs we get or how successful we are, or what our GPA is, none of it matters. So, we say that Collegium students are not conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewal of their minds, their hearts, and their souls. I'm going to end there. So I wanted to stay under the time limit. So you got my elevator speech. I am really open to questions, anything that's on your mind. Kristen, I'm going to help ask you. I don't know well, there's the chat. So people can put things in the chat if they want, if you got questions.
Oh, she said, could you talk about the work that you mentioned?
Yes, so every one of our students is required to work 8 hours a week. We try to create positions where students will have some opportunity to experience a field, and if they're there long enough, to develop some knowledge and skills of the field. We don't guarantee that every job is going to be the perfect job. What we do is we typically will put a student in a job for a semester, and we don't require any remuneration of the employer during that time. And that's a time for them to test each other out and make sure the fit's going to be good. And if so, then we have a kind of remuneration system with the employer that comes directly to the college. It's part of what helps keep the costs down. Right now, we have agreements with a printing company, DataChief, which is a digital marketing company, a laundry company, a real estate development company, catering, Maryland Watchworks, Soak Soder, which is a cybersecurity company. The Collegium will engage a number of those students in marketing, development work, some social media work. Washington County Historical Society, a photography company, Wright Gardner Insurance. We're working with St. Mary's School. We're trying to work with a bank down the street. Not sure where that's going to go. Also an investment advising company. It's a infant process, but it continues to grow every semester.
There's another question that said, could you please expound more on the advantage of studying in a large core versus having a major?
Yeah, so higher ed today has been this, and this happened because of government money coming into higher ed. All of a sudden, they created all kinds of reasons for people to go into higher ed and make it for everybody. And higher ed was never really for everyone, because an awful lot of jobs you don't need a college degree to work in. There's an awful lot of good trades and apprenticeship programs and so on. But the core in most colleges today is a small number of what I call distribution requirements. You can take any of these 10 courses in history, any of these 10 courses in science or whatever. They're not really designed to accomplish anything. The core should really help a person understand how to think, how to learn, and then engage them in those topics that help them understand their place in the development of Western society and the development of the church, and help them to continue that growth, both in knowledge and in virtue. The cores just don't do that today. And that is really our entire focus. And so what we do to help people get ready for the workforce is these direct work assignments, many of which have skills that can be transferred in all sorts of ways. All right. I'll give you one, probably the most bizarre example. We actually own a laundromat, and the students come and do some help maintenance in that. But if a student wanted to take that on as a work requirement, they get involved in the maintenance, they get involved in repair, they get involved in inventory, they get involved in understanding the machinery and how it all works, whether it's washers, dryers, machines, and so on. They get involved in bookkeeping, they get involved in marketing, they get involved in financial planning. And those are skills that you can apply to any business. And any employer would welcome to have someone who had some experience in those different areas that they could apply to a different job. Most employers want to know that you know how to learn and that they can train you to do what they need to do. And that's the process that we use. So I hope that helps. Well, Kristen, thank you for hosting and thank you for making it so easy.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Then I'm gonna sign off, and the rest of you, hope we see you at the Collegium at some point. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if you want to. Okay. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.